Yeah, yeah. I'm living my best life. Made a couple M's, you know. Said I'm living my best life. Said I'm living my best life.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Random Opinions, Reaction, and Reviews. If you don't know who I am by now, you gotta get with the program, okay? Oh, anyway, I'm coming to do a review on the episode that aired on General Hospital today. Today's date is September 4th.
Hey, it's Queen Bee's birthday, y'all. It's Beyonce's birthday, Virgo season. My birthday is on the 10th. We finna be turned. Not really. Virgos are very reserved. I'm finna be in the house, literally. Like,
Let's go ahead and get into this review. We have a scene at the Metro Court with Maxie, Robert, Mac, and Felicia. And Maxie wants Mac to take a step back, and she wants him to think like, hey, am I doing the right thing? She wants him to be able to think things through. And he says, Maxie, I thought you were happy for me at first. And she says, I was happy, but why do all the men in my life have to be heroes? I don't, when you take that badge and you get up every morning, I want you to look at that badge and think of your family first. Think me, think mom, think Georgie, James. Think of your family first before you think of the good citizens of Port Charles. I'm there with you, Maxie. It's okay to be selfish sometimes, especially when it comes to somebody that you love. She loves Mac. He's been a father to her when her own father wasn't there. I get it. I agree with her 100%. Do not step in the front of a bullet for nobody. Stop with the rescue complex. Show up for work. Try your best to do a good job. Just don't put your life at risk in a freaking career that puts your life at risk every day. Is that too much to ask? So they do a toast to Mac. And Peter, he walks up, and Robert, I think he got a phone call, so he had left out, and they run into each other before Peter goes into the Metro Court. Robert do not like Peter, as we know, and he tells him, there's no point in hanging around. We already did the toast. He also tells him, like, look, my family hasn't seen your dark side, but eventually they will. And Peter is arrogant. Robert warns him, and he says, you know what? Faison's ego was his undoing, and it will be yours too, Junior. Peter seems unfazed. If there's anything that I've realized from the Peter character is that he uses his arrogancy as a way to mask how he truly feels because of the things that he's been through in life. I get it. Do I think he's a good person? Yes. Do I think that he has bad tendencies? Yes, definitely. When you grow up and you've been engulfed in a lifestyle like that, it's hard to just shake it. Eventually, because of who he is, him and Maxie will break up, and I'm happy for it because I still don't like the character. I feel like the character is a freaking waste of time. Like, there's so many other characters we can invest our time in other than Peter August and his shenanigans with a storyline that we've already been told before. We already know this man was neck deep into what happened with Jason and Drew and the twins and the memory. We already know this, but the writers, however, want to bring this back up to give him a relevancy. But okay, we'll just rock with it for a little while. Mac gets a call from Jordan. She wants him to come to GH. We have Trina and Cameron in the park. Cameron's still not trying to go to school. Trina's like, look, if you don't want to go to school for yourself, go to school for me, because you're still supposed to be hooking me up with cousin Dev. And she also believes that this will give him a distraction from his own life. So he's like, you know what, you got something going on there. Okay, I'll do it. Well, we left off with Kim and Franco, Frank and Drew, whoever. They're in the park and they're kissing. As they're kissing, Cameron and Trina stumble up. And Cameron, his immediate first reaction is to get up and do something about it. But Trina holds him back. Like, did y'all catch how she grabbed him so fast and threw him down? Like, and told him, look, just listen in on what's going on. Do not say anything yet. Cameron was disgusted. Kim eventually does pull herself away from Franco. This is wrong. We can't do this. She also is so mixed up in her head. You can tell she's all over the place. She says, Drew, we can't do this. Calls the man Drew. So he's like, aha, you called me Drew. Yes. He's all happy about that. And she's like, you know what? You're not Drew. You're Franco. Everything about you is Franco's. And Drew is like, I called the man Drew too, dang it. Drew is like, you know what? I get what everybody's saying about this whole Franco character, but this is my memories. I feel like I'm Drew. There's nothing saying that I'm Franco. So he tries to plead his case. He says he remembers her. He remembers their history. Things that the real Drew can't even remember. He has all of that. That's why he is a formidable candidate for her to be in a relationship with, because he remembers it all. He's willing to love her as is. He also says, you know what? He finally came back to her. That's all he wanted to do, and he did it. Cameron is sad because in the process of Drew pleading his case, he said some very hurtful things on how he doesn't want to remember Franco's life. He doesn't want to have anything to do with Elizabeth and her kids, you know, and Cameron, you've been through so much, kid. And Kim is like, look, Elizabeth is my best friend. The best friend that I have in Port Charles. I'm not going to do this to her. You should want to try to get Franco's memories back. You should want to strive to be Franco because you owe it to Elizabeth and those kids. He's like, look, girl, as soon as this ankle monitor come off, I'm whisking you away. We leaving Port Charles. She leaves. She like, I can't even deal with this. And as she leaves, Cameron steps up and is like, what the hell is your problem? And he's like, dude, this is a public park. What are you talking about? He says, you have no right to treat my brothers and my mother the way that you are treating them. My mother went through hell and hot water to make sure she stood by your side. People in the town ridiculed her for giving you a chance, and you can't even give us a chance now. And he says, in the process of him going off on Drew, Cameron says that he is glad that Oscar is dead because the guy that is walking around pleading his case to be Drew, you know, would have been a letdown to Oscar. And he really said it to get Franco mad at him. And it kind of hurt me a little bit. And Trina was like, no, Cameron, stop. And he's like, no, it needs to be said. And I'm like, ugh. If Oscar was alive, he would have kicked your butt. Never mind. He probably would have just been so disappointed that you are walking out on my family. We have a brief scene where Drew is in Oscar's meadow talking to Oscar and telling him, look, I don't want to disappoint you, but I can't be the man that your friend wants me to be. I'm sorry that my choices may have disappointed you. And I liked that scene. I really did. It seemed genuine. Cam just wants Franco to freaking try. Kim, she was trying to convince herself that she is not in love with Drew. And Drew even called her out and even said, look, who is the ultimate love of your life? Julian or me? She couldn't even answer the question. I'm like, girl, at least you could have lied to the man. Alexis and Julian, they're talking at Charlie's pub. She tells him that the sale is off for the time being. I guess they're going to be a week behind because Olivia found out that it'd be cheaper for her to go through a corporation to buy Charlie's pub. So they won't be able to leave Port Charles right away. And Julian was not happy about that. Oh, he's ready to whisk his girl off because in another day, he could lose that woman. And he know it. Lucas shows up. He is wanting Julian to know that he loves Julian and no amount of money could ever pay for the love that he has for his dad and love his dad has for him. Alexis runs into Kim. She's clearly preoccupied in her own head. She's on the phone and Alexis is talking to her and she don't even hear it. It's going like this, bouncing right off her forehead. And so Alexis pretty much is telling her, look, we can get a restraining order on Franco to keep him away from you. Kim thinks that, you know, that's going too far. They're going to, you know, she doesn't really need the restraining order is how she feels. But we all know she kind of enjoys seeing Franco. Jason came by to give a gift to Jake. You know, it's good that he's, you know, there for his son, even though we haven't really seen how Jake is handling everything. It's great that Jason is there for Jake in his time of hurt and need. Elizabeth's like, oh, the home hasn't been the same since Franco, you know, since this happened to Franco. Jason is like, oh, it must be difficult to get used to it. And she goes on, like, to me, like, Jason didn't mean any harm by what he said, but Elizabeth took offense to it. And I'm like, Jason, quit while you're ahead, because clearly she gonna find every reason. Anything you say, she's gonna find some flaw in it to go off on you. She's like, I'm not gonna get used to it. He's like, I didn't mean it like that. So he asked her, did she need help with anything like laundry? And this woman gonna say, oh, you know what, our household, we don't only just wear black t-shirts or something. I'm like, Elizabeth, really? So why is you going in on Jason? Them black t-shirts was fine when you climbed up 15 flights of stairs, or was it 16, to have intercourse with him? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this woman, Jason couldn't say one thing right. This woman had everything wrong. I'm like, okay. I did enjoy these scenes, though, I will say. So Jason asked her, what if Franco is not able to come back? Jason wants her to prepare for a possibility that he will not return. And you know what? Like I said, everything Jason was saying, she was going in on him. I think her exact words were, my disappointment is your dream come true. It's like, Elizabeth, who cares what Jason thinks? You love this man. Why do you want Jason to like him? It doesn't matter. And she's like, you never accepted Franco. And Jason is like, no, I accepted Franco in your life. I just don't like it. And he has that right, Elizabeth. Like, I don't want to go in on her with that. Like, I realize when you are in love with a man, you want the whole world to know it. You want the world to see that man as you do. But love is blind, Elizabeth. Love is blind. Jason is not going to set aside the way he feels for Franco because of you. He's already done enough to establish, an equal median between the two of them. He's not beating Franco up on sight anymore. Be happy with that. That's progress, sis. Jason does let her know, look, I don't want you in pain. I understand I have my vendetta towards him, but I don't want to see you in pain. You are my baby mama. I don't want to see my kids in pain, He did say, if it makes you happy, I did try to talk to Franco to keep him from leaving Port Charles when that ankle monitor comes off. And she was like, oh, did it get through to him? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, you know what? I'm not going to give up without a fight. Then Epiphany calls, and Elizabeth lost her marbles. She was all happy. Yes, Andre Maddox is here. She didn't know whether she was coming or going, So she tells Jason, go down to the hospital, because Jason did offer to stay with Aiden. She's like, no, you'll freak him out. Just go to the hospital, find out what's going on with Andre, and I'll wait for Cameron to get here. So at the hospital scene, we have Epiphany, Jordan, and Andre, and apparently Andre's spleen is gonna have to be removed. Somebody stabbed Andre, and we don't find that out to the very end of the episode. I'm just telling you guys that now. He's in critical condition, but he's stable, and he may need surgery. Then Mac shows up. Mac has reviewed cameras to see what happened. Apparently Andre stumbled out of the driver's seat, and there's no sign of Drew, but they're just waiting to get Andre Maddox's statement. But he's been unconscious ever since he stumbled into the ED. Then Jason and Peter show up, and Jason wants info on the situation as well. Epiphany is like, look, HIPAA. I can't tell you anything. So Mac is like, they keep on looking to Epiphany to share information with Jason, but Jason is just a regular citizen of Port Charles. Epiphany's like, look, I can't do that. So Mac is like, you know what? Jason is helping us with the investigation. She's like, okay, that's all I need. Yeah, he was stabbed. So now everybody's wondering who is after Andre Maddox. Anyway, Peter stumbles in Andre's room, and he's looking over Andre's still body. So like I said, I think Peter definitely has something to do with it. And you know what? Thank you, writers, for answering our prayers, because after this, Maxie is going to leave him for good, hopefully, if Maxie is smart, and Maxie has always been smart. So, y'all don't try to dumb her character down to make it work with Peter, because it's not going to work. I don't like him with her. Anyway, you guys, let me know how you felt about today's episode. Your thoughts. I love hearing you guys' thoughts. They mean everything to me. Let's continue to talk about the show that we love so much. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
I finally made my mind, know that I can't go back broke. They saying that my time up, my back against the ropes. I hustle, got my grind, know that when I make